Hi, Empress Justice here, and this is everything that I know about Scorpios. Now, Scorpios, yeah, okay, stereotype time. They're seen as deep and dark and all the rest of it, and yada, yada, yada. Like deep and dark, mysterious, suspicious, all that. Basically, like comic book villains is what people are, what people paint Scorpio as. But again, it's a lot more complicated than that. So let's dive into this, okay? I'm just gonna get my notes here for Scorps. All right, so the thing to understand about Scorpios, first of all, is that the depth and intensity that you see from a Scorpio is not necessarily depth of emotion, but concentration of emotion, right? I wouldn't say that Scorpios feel things deeply, but they certainly feel it intensely. So intensely that it must be physically expressed either through work or through action. And the work or action that a Scorpio normally takes can be incredibly intense. It doesn't necessarily mean loud, but it usually means a significant course of action. Scorpios are similar to Virgos in the sense that where Virgos never have a word wasted, Scorpios never have an action wasted. It's important to them that every single action that they take is not a wasted one, or at least in their perspective. Like every single action is not just in defense of themselves or in defense of something that matters to them. It's like every single action they take, it doesn't matter how small it is, it has to mean something. It has to be imbued with meaning. And this is because of the concentrated and intense emotional energy that they carry. And there's also an inner vulnerability towards Scorpio as well, but I'll get to that in a minute. Now, when it comes to Scorpio, they come into a world where either massive change happens because of them, or change happens around them. So their arrival into the world, it marks a turning point in their environment or in the family that they've entered into or in the community that they've entered into. It marks a turning point, marks a point of massive change. So during the life of a Scorpio, massive changes, big upheavals are something that they're going to be used to. But it's upheavals revolved around the past more than it's more than anything, it's revolved around the past. There are past issues that are brought back up that a Scorpio is there to witness. Some secrets being revealed, something being excavated. It could be that Scorpios could be the result of a secret sometimes. Now, again, every sign, okay? It doesn't matter what the signs are, it could happen with any sign. But sometimes Scorpios can even be the result of a secret. Or Scorpios themselves could be carrying secrets very young that might upset the apple cart or might lead to some much needed clarity about past situations. Okay? So that's the type of world that Scorpios come into. The shifting of pre-established structures. The changes of pre-established structures. That's what they're surrounded by. And because of that, Scorpios can be chaotic, yes, but they can also be extremely inventive. And just like Leo, they can be way ahead of the curve sometimes. And Scorpios are actually masters of change. Scorpios appreciate change. They're able to work with it. Like they appreciate changes. In fact, Scorpios can feel a little bit, they can feel a little bit antsy when change isn't happening. So Scorpios embrace change. They embrace transformation because, again, like it's associated with Scorpio, right? Transformation, that's a part of control. So Scorpios can feel very uncomfortable when change isn't happening, and change isn't happening at a deep-seated level, they feel. They can feel uncomfortable when things in the past are left unsaid. So as much as Scorpios themselves can be chaotic, they can thrive in chaos. They can thrive in massive change. Okay? Now, when it comes to the insecurities of a Scorpio, again, regardless of how they grew up, a Scorpio can feel perpetually undernourished by life. They can feel perpetually unloved and unappreciated because they don't have the same social cachet as other signs. They don't have the social cachet, and they don't have the raw materials of life that other signs are blessed with. So it's like Scorpio has to work really hard just to have what other people take for granted. Like they have to work really hard to get that. And they also have to work really hard to, be able to be socially cohesive, like to integrate themselves within communities or within the people, within the groups that are around them. Like they have to work really, really hard to fit in. And it can be a real struggle for Scorpios, and their emotions, they can feel like their emotions are being taken for granted, which is why they tend to rely on extreme or intense actions all the time. It's because they feel like their feelings aren't heard the first time. Their feelings aren't respected. Their feelings aren't acknowledged. Aren't acknowledged. But this is the thing. Scorpios don't even acknowledge their own feelings until it gets to that stage. So it can be a complex thing where Scorpio wants to acknowledge their own feelings, but until it's really, really intense, Scorpios feel like there's no clarity unless it's not only truthful, but it's intense as well. It has to be intense truth. It can't be just be simple truth. Feelings can't just be quiet. They have to be intense in order for a Scorpio to understand them. So Scorpios can be just as much a mystery to themselves as anyone else, being real about it. Okay. So that's one thing about them. Another thing about Scorpios is that Scorpios don't like lies when they're being lied to. It's kind of a mirror opposite to Taurus, because Taurus likes to come across as if they have integrity, but then when somebody tells the truth about them, they don't like it. With Scorpio, they don't mind coming across as they're not telling the truth. They don't care whether people think they're telling the truth or not. They don't care about that. But they do get really, really, they do get really wounded, hurt, or offended when somebody lies to them. Scorpio can lie to you as the day is long. They will lie and put emotional intensity behind it, but don't you dare lie to them. They don't like that shit. They don't like it when you lie to them, and they also don't like it when you appear to have more than them that you don't have to work for. They don't like that either. So it's in this case where I guess Scorpios can be jealous, but it's not that they're any more jealous than anyone else. It's just that there are certain things that they want to be in control of. Like Taurus wants to be in control of the truth, Scorpio wants to be in control of the lie. They want to be the architect of the lie. They don't want the lies controlling them. That's why they don't want people lying to them. It's not necessarily about integrity, it's about control. If you lie to a Scorpio, a person who prides themselves on knowing the truth, you lie to a Scorpio and you lie to them a little bit too well and they don't find out until it's too late, they resent that, not because it's morally wrong, but because they're not in control. Scorpio is not unforgiving when it comes to morality. Morality is not actually something that's that important to a Scorpio. It really isn't. Fairness is more important to a Scorpio than morality. And what they see as fair is that they are able to deceive people and they are able to mistrust people, but they should not be lied to or mistrusted in return. Like it shouldn't happen to them. It is what it is. Most people are hypocrites. It doesn't matter what sign you are. And that's a way where Scorpio can be hypocritical, is that they expect other people to be truthful and not necessarily them. Also, to close out, this is going to be the longest video I've done actually. To close out, Scorpios have an affinity with the past. They really do. Again, it's about uncovering past secrets in order to ultimately heal them. That's the ultimate drive of a Scorpio. And on top of that, to really make a massive impact on the world in meaningful ways. Okay? In as many places as possible too. They want to make sure that everything they do is not only powerful and intense, but also sacred. They want to imbue everything that they do with meaning. That was everything that I know about Scorpios. I am Empress Justice, and I will see you in the next reading. Peace and blessings. Bye bye, my darlings.